The next test level that we have is system testing. Objective of system testing. System testing focus on the behavior and capacity of whole system or product, often considering the end-to-end tasks the system can perform and the non-functional behavior while performing those tasks. Objective of system testing, that is reducing risk, verifying whether the functional and non-functional behavior of the system are as designed and specified, validating the system is completed and will work as expected, building confidence in the quality of the system, finding defect and preventing defect from skipping to higher test level or production. System testing, sometimes we verify the data quality, like we said in component testing and integration testing. Also in system testing, we may use automated system regression test. System testing should provide me information that can be used by the stakeholder to make decision. It also satisfies legal or regulatory requirement. The test environment should correspond to the environment so that we can reduce the failure that would occur with the user because of environment. Test basis of system testing, that is system and software requirement specification, risk analysis report, use cases, epic and user stories, model of the system behavior, state diagrams, and the system and user manual. Test object of system testing, that is applications. We need hardware and software system, operating system, system under test, system configuration and configuration data. The defect and failure of the system test. Incorrect calculation, incorrect system functional or non-functional behavior, system control or data flow within the system, failure to completely carry out an end-to-end function task, failure of the system to work properly in the production environment, failure of the system to work as described in the system and user manual. In system testing, we focus on end-to-end behavior of the system and functional and non-functional. We should use test technique to reach the goal, like decision table, which can be used to verify that the functional behavior of our system described in business rule. We should review specification. We should perform static testing, because if there are defect in the specification, this means that expected system behavior may have defect or failure in it because of the defect in the specification. This situation can cause false position and false negative, and it will waste our time. That's why we need to involve the tester early in user story refinement or static testing activity like reviews. Next level is acceptance testing. Acceptance testing focus on the behavior of whole system or product. The objective of acceptance testing include establishing confidence in the quality of the system, validating that the system is complete and will work as expected, verifying that functional and non-functional behavior of the system are as specified. Acceptance testing may produce information so that we can make decision. Is our system ready for deployment and used by the customer? We may find defect acceptance testing, but our goal is not to find defect, because we should have already found defect in unit testing, integration testing, and system testing. Find a lot of defect in acceptance testing. It means that we have a project risk. This means that the system is not ready for deployment, and if it is deployed, then user will have many issues with it. With acceptance testing may satisfy legal or regulatory. Acceptance testing, we have different types. We have user acceptance testing, operational acceptance testing, contractual and regulatory acceptance testing, alpha and beta testing. First is user acceptance testing. The acceptance testing is accepted by its user. So we may use read user to test the system and get feedback from them about the better quality of the system. The main advantage in UAT is that we build confidence that user can use the system to meet their need and fulfill the requirements. The type is operational acceptance testing, and this means that we want to test the operation of the software in a good way. This is why we need system administration staff to perform this type of testing. In acceptance testing, we focus on different operational aspects that include testing of backup and restore, installing and uninstalling and upgrading, disaster recovery, user management, maintenance tasks, load and migration tasks, check for security, performance testing. Operational acceptance testing is building confidence that the operator and the system administration can keep the system working properly for the user in the operational requirement. And we have contractual and regulatory acceptance testing. Contractual acceptance testing means that we want to make sure that we are covering acceptance criteria in our contract with the customer. Acceptance criteria should be written at the beginning of the project while we are agreeing with the customer. Contractual acceptance testing is done by the independent tester. Regulatory acceptance testing means that we want to make sure that our system performs against the regulatory with our government legal or safety regulation. It may be done by the user or independent tester, and we may use some regulatory agency for the auditing testing that is performed by this user or tester. The main objective of contractual and regulatory acceptance testing is building confidence that we achieve contractual or regulatory compliance. The last type of acceptance testing is alpha and beta testing. Alpha and beta testing are used by the commercial off-the-shelf software like Office, Windows, antivirus, games, and so on. In this case, we want to get feedback from customer about the product before releasing it to the market. Testing is the first type is alpha testing. It is performed at the development organization but not by the development team. It is performed by existing customer inside the organization or by the independent test team. Beta testing is like alpha testing, but difference is it is performed at the customer own location. Beta testing may come after alpha testing or may come without alpha testing. We may perform beta testing only without any existing of alpha testing. There are two objectives of alpha testing, alpha and beta testing. First is that we make sure that building confidence that our system was easy with user and under normal condition. And the second goal is that detection of defects that are related to the environment condition in which the system will be used. The example of work product that can be used as the test basis for any form of acceptance testing include business processing, user or business requirement, regulation, legal, contract and standards, use cases, system requirement, system and user documentation, installation process, risk analysis report. In addition, as the test basis for deriving test case for operational acceptance testing, one or more of the following work product can be used: backup and restore procedure, disaster recovery, non-functional requirement, operation documentation, deployment and installation instruction, performance targets, database packages, security standard and regulations. The typical objective of any form of acceptance testing include system under test, system configuration and configuration data, business process for fully integrated system, recovery system and hot sites, operational and maintenance process, forms, reports, and existing and converted production data. The example of typical defect for any form of acceptance testing is system overflow do not meet business or user requirement, business rules are not implemented correctly, system does not satisfy contractual and regulatory requirement. Non-functional failures such as security performance efficiency under high loads, or improper operation on a supported platform. Acceptance testing is the responsibility of customer, business, user, product owner, and other stakeholder can be involved as well. Acceptance testing is the last test level in a sequential development lifecycle. For example, acceptance testing of a code's software product may occur when it is installed or integrated. Acceptance testing of a new functional enhancement may occur before system testing. In iterative development, models like Agile, we may perform acceptance testing in many ways. We may perform it at the end of the iteration by verifying the acceptance criteria of our user stories. Also, alpha and beta testing may occur at the end of each iteration or after the series of iterations. Or other type of acceptance testing may occur at the close of iteration or after the series of iteration.